Hey, Noah Tichy here for Gearspace, and I have a little preamble for you before I get into the main topic of the video. I try to avoid hyperbole when I make these videos so that when I make a statement like the one I'm about to make, you know that it is at least reasonably objective and there's going to be some factual information to support it later on in the video. So here it goes. Without exaggeration, these studio monitors are likely the highest quality passive studio monitors I will ever have on my desk. They are the Danley Sound Labs TDH-3 three-way passive studio monitors, and over the course of this video, I'm going to tell you all about what makes them so exceptional. Before I tell you about the TDH-3s, I want to share some of what I know about the company that makes them. Danley Sound Labs is based in Gainesville, Georgia, and they build everything by hand in the US. These speakers in particular were made by Rafael Rojas and Quentin West, so shout out to you, Rafael and Quentin. The company was founded in 2005 when Tom Danley teamed up with Mike Hedden, and they're very straightforward about the fact that while Mike brings a great deal of business acumen to the table, Tom is the secret weapon behind their success. So who is Tom Danley? I have some highlights for you, but for more on his backstory, check out Kevin Young's 2011 Pro Sound Web article, In Profile, Tom Danley Exploring the Possibilities of Audio Technology. Tom has one of these awesome origin stories you only hear in the world of audio, where something relatively mundane kicks off a chain of events and years of work that lead to excellence in the field. It begins with elementary-aged Tom sneaking into the organ loft at his local church and experiencing a sense of awe when the organist played the pedals of the organ. From then on, Tom was hooked on low frequencies. He learned how to play bass guitar and routinely went down to the train tracks so that he could feel the bass rumble of passing trains. He was a curious kid with access to his dad's and uncle's tools, so he would take things apart, put them back together, and find ways of making them work more efficiently. After high school, Tom got a job working for a classmate's loudspeaker company. This same classmate also owned a partial stake in a local club where Tom would occasionally do live sound. One of these nights, in which he was doing live sound, he brought a reel-to-reel tape player with him to record the mix. When he listened back afterwards, he was floored by how much better the recording sounded than the live sound. He realized blame lay with the loudspeakers. This realization is a hinge point in Tom's career, as well as the history of audio more broadly, because everything that follows builds up to the invention of new and improved ways of conveying sound that is both loud and high fidelity. Tom worked on NASA contracts for intersonics for a number of years, during which time he was awarded 17 patents. As an aside, I recommend looking up some of these patents if you have the time. Some of them are pretty wild, including one for a method and apparatus for acoustic levitation. He invented the servo drive subwoofer while he was there and headed up a loudspeaker company as a division of Intersonics. Later, he went to work for Sound Physics Labs, which is where he was when Mike Hedden, the owner of SPL's biggest distributor, proposed they form a loudspeaker company. The bulk of Danley Sound Labs' work, especially early on, was in building big systems for houses of worship, stadiums, arenas, and other venues, but they've also branched out into theme parks, clubs, performing arts centers, cinemas, and touring and production pursuits. What you see here represents a new frontier. Danley Studio is a growing division of Danley Sound Labs, utilizing Danley's patented innovative technologies for use in the professional and home studio market. And so that brings us to these, a pair of Tom Danley Home, or TDH-3 three-way passive speakers. Let's start with the first detail to meet the eye. Beautiful maple wooden cabinetry. The wood is selected for its acoustic properties, but the resulting visual is nothing to sneeze at either. My home studio has never looked so sophisticated. The varnish is a marine spar, which is a transparent coat, so the color and the grain of the wood is really the star of the show here, visually at least. Each cabinet is 19 inches tall and 11 inches in both width and depth, or 479 by 279 by 279 millimeters if you are of the metric persuasion. The weight for each speaker is 38 pounds, or 17.24 kilograms. The sound quality of these monitors is a lot like that marine spar varnish. It is crystal clear, which allows the music or whatever it is you're listening to come through. Inside the cabinet, responsible for producing this transparent sound, you have a 5-inch coaxial driver, 8-inch high-powered woofer, and a 1-inch tweeter. One of Tom Danley's many patents is for the synergy horn, which combines the outputs of multiple drivers of different bandwidths into a single horn so that they behave as a single full-range loudspeaker. These close-coupled drivers result in significantly more power per driver. The basic principle of the synergy horn, therefore, is more sound out of less material, and each TDH-3 has a little synergy horn in it. The TDH-3 has a continuous output of 108 dB and peaks at 114 dB. Its frequency response range is 35 Hz to 20 kHz. The extended lower range, while impressive, implies a relatively low sensitivity, which means your amp needs at least 400 watts of output per channel in order to power a pair of them. One last thing I want to mention is Danley Sound Labs donates a portion of every sale that it makes to charitable organizations that it supports, one of which is Water Mission. Something that's always on the back of my mind when I'm working with new gear is, where does this stuff come from, and what sorts of harm might it be causing to the people who make it, or to the people who live near where it's made, or where the materials that are used to make it are extracted. And it's nice to know, for a change, that I'm working with a pair of loudspeakers that are made in the US, where there are at least some protections for workers, and where there are regulations related to the use of and disposal of hazardous materials. Plus, some of what you pay is going towards bringing safe water to people who might not have it otherwise, so even better. To conclude, I would summarize the Danley Sound Labs TDH-3 three-way passive speakers as pleasing to the eye, transparent and powerful to the ear, and an opportunity to own a piece of technology dreamt up by one of the great audio minds of our time. The TDH-3s represent the latest installment in a relatively new direction from a company that's used to doing things in a much larger format. As exciting as the TDH-3s are, I really can't wait to see what they roll out next. If you found this video useful or entertaining, do me a favor, give it a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already to the Gearspace Forum YouTube channel, and hit the notification bell so that you are the first to know next time we put something out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.